Guys, what's going on? This is going to be my free-to-play account, and I wanted to do a video because I'm trying to get Demon Hunter. So I've been doing a lot of co-op today. I'm almost there. I have two more battles, and I'll obviously get like 7 per if I use my main account, and that's definitely what I'm going to be doing because I just did the worst co-op. Just a person that I played with in my clan, who was just like the worst kind of co-op player. And I just did a video about Scrapper and how to use Scrapper. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. I just posted that. So it'll be right before this one. But a very long time ago, I also did a video. I think I titled it "How to Co-op," and co-op in co-op in its nature is supposed to be cooperative. You are supposed to work together in order to win, right? And there are certain things that you can do as a player that help the other person. So, for instance, um, when like when you start, when you use trainer, and that's like the thing that's going to stop the waves from coming. um, don't use it at the beginning of a round. Use it at towards like the end, when it matters, when you're about to die. But at the same time, you also have to coordinate with your partner, who uses it first. Because if you use it both at the same time, then that doesn't do anything. Because you could use trainer, like one person uses trainer, right? And it stops everybody, and you have more time to kill everything. And then the other person uses trainer, and then you have even more time to kill everything. If you use it at the beginning when it doesn't matter, um, then the other person has to use their trainer, and then you can only stop it for that amount of time. That's a micro decision that becomes very important in a cooperative mode. Scrapper, when a deck has Scrapper, use Scrapper. Um, for the most part, if you are a Blade Dancer player, or if you're an Inquisitor player, whatever, like, and you have Scrapper in your deck, don't just set up and then stop doing anything and then assume that the Shaman player is going to do everything for you. It's super annoying. It's my biggest pet peeve when I try to run Shaman decks. Um, as a co-op person. Um, if you have Scrapper and you have a Blade Dancer deck and you're trying to upgrade like 9 different things, like seven Blade Dancers and 2 Knight statues, right? And you rely solely on the Shaman player to shaman all 9 of your units to level 7, right? Um, the Shaman player is going to run out of mana. You can do a lot more because Scrapper allows you to do so much more. You have the ability to keep going. Technically, the Shaman player, and if you go back to my how to co-op video, you'll see that technically the Shaman player only needs to shaman in order to give you a level 2 Scrapper. Because obviously you don't need to run Dryad. If you're playing co-op, you can just run Scrapper, set up, eat everything, wait till you get level ones, wait till you get a field of level ones, and then the Shaman player can then shaman, and then as soon as you get a level 2, you can keep going. That is the best way to co-op. Let me show you the exact worst way to co-op. And they just basically do every single one of my pet peeves, and we lose. I'm gonna spoil this now so that you don't have to wait. If this is what if this is what you were waiting for, we lose in like the last 5 rounds. I can't remember which round, but we lose in the last 5 rounds. So first off, I jump into this match, and the person isn't even there. um, so I have to damage my way. That's the only reason why I'm running Snowflake, by the way. I should be running Trickster, but I'm running Snowflake for this exact scenario. The first round is normally difficult, but it's even more difficult when my opponent is doing nothing. So I managed to like reasonably fend off this wave. And the grenade guys helped me. Because as soon as they explode, I'm able to take out the wave. and then he comes in, right? He also has Dryad, which makes getting level 2s and level 3s even easier. Because again, if you've seen my Scrapper video, at the very least, if you are running Dryad, you should be getting a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 Scrapper, and then you can basically go infinite. Needless to say, this guy just decided to not do any of these things. He merges 2 Portal Keepers. He lucks into that level 2 Scrapper. And that level 2 Portal Keeper that's literally doing nothing just gets to sit there. Whenever you do replays, you can't see emotes. But just know that I'm doing the Portal Keeper face so many times throughout this match. So I'm not going to do anything, right? Because he can still do stuff. That level 3 Dryad, eventually he'll be able to level 3 something. He currently has a level 1 Scrapper and 2 very awkward level 2 Portal Keepers. So if he draws like a Scrapper and a Dryad, he can eat both level 2s and keep going. I'm almost positive right here he gives me the thumbs up, as opposed to continuing to Scrapper. So once I start realizing that he's just not going to do anything and he's now just waiting, I realize that I just gave him a level 2 Scrapper, and I'm just like, I'm doing a bunch of emotes that are like, please eat the level 2. I will do everything if you really want me to, but please eat the level 2. Like, he's not going to do anything with this level 2 Portal Keeper. And I'm just, like, waiting for him to eat the level 2 Portal Keeper. And he just chooses not to. And at some point, I have to make a decision of whether or not to continue scrappering him. I'm sorry, continue shamaning him. Because he's just going to sit there and do nothing. Because he thinks that I'm just going to do literally everything. And eventually I just kind of have to make the decision, okay, I guess I'm just going to literally do everything. At which point, he then decides to summon in, lucks out into a level 1 Scrapper, and still chooses to not eat the level 2. Also, if he wanted more space, he could use the level 3 on this level 3, the one of the level 3, or the one level 3 Blade Dancer. And then you would create more space. You can eat the 2. You have the space to do stuff, and he just chooses not to do anything. It's not because he has no mana. This is very early in the game. He hasn't upgraded anything. This person is just the worst kind of co-op player, and I don't understand. The fact that I have to use Snowflake here is bananas. We were gonna die. And he's still choosing to not do anything. And I'm just kind of waiting for him to like realize, okay, now he's gonna start doing stuff. He almost gets bedlamed. He almost gets bedlamed. He finally uses the level 3 Dryad. But here, again, he can continue to do stuff, and he just chooses to not. And I think he gave me the thumbs up sign again. The level, getting the level 3 awkward, or getting the hit on the Portal Keeper is really awkward. So right here, I can accept that he can just choose to not do anything for the rest of this game. This is a completely fine board state. It's not great. He can still do stuff with his level 1 Scrapper, but I know that he's not going to. Because every single time he gets to this position, he keeps giving me a thumbs up, like, oh, do stuff. And what's awkward about this scenario here is that he could keep going with his level 1 scrapper, but now he has 2 level 2s because of my shaman. And now I don't know what to... I have to just wait. But I believe he's going to summon in again. And he lucks out again into a level 1 scrapper. Because that is pure luck, by the way. Getting a level 1 scrapper, you could very obviously get 2 like level 1 knight statues, merge them out, and have it and then have it become like a portal keeper. You could then eat it, but if it becomes like a level 2 scrapper, what are you gonna do? Like summon it again? The amount of luck that this man gets is insane. He has reasonably high levels right now. He has a 6, he has a 7, he has 2 3s, a 4, a 5. His Blade Dancer isn't great, but he also has Gadget, and it's level 11. It's pretty difficult, but it's not impossible. The fact that he's running Dryad, it doesn't help him as much as a Trapper would, or a Bombardier would, or a Chemist would. And that's the exact reason why, as a Blade Dancer player, if you're trying to get somebody to shaman you, you don't need to run Dryad. Because they can shaman your scrappers at some point to make them level 2s. So we get this super unlucky hit on his level 5. But he chooses not to keep summoning in. And that confused me for the rest of this round. So it dies. And right here, you can summon in. You can summon in, eat everything, hope that you get, obviously, a Blade Dancer there. And then you can, if you get a Portal Keeper, you can Portal Keeper it in. But you can give me the curse. And he just chooses to do nothing for the rest of this round. So you might think to yourself, that's a fine decision. Like, you can totally just don't do anything because he didn't want to send the curse to you. But here's the thing. If you stop doing anything and you stop using your mana for this entire round, you could be hit with a mana down. And in the very next round, when you think that you're going to save up and spend all of this mana in your next round, you could get mana down and lose everything. And then now what are you going to do? If you have Scrapper, you have to keep Scrappering. It doesn't make sense if you stop. And the only reason to stop is because you're stuck. This man is not stuck. I'm just choosing not to do anything here because I really actively want him to see you can keep doing stuff. And again, like, he's going to choose to do stuff, but he's going to choose to do it at the end of this round. He's going to wait until he kills the boss, because that's the other thing. Waiting to kill, like, sitting on the amount of damage that he is currently on, he's not immediately killing bosses. His Blade Dancer isn't high enough. He has a level 9 Blade Dancer. He's just using the Floral Frenzy. Like, his equipment is not great. His gadget isn't great. Like, he has to push damage as hard as he can at every second. So the round ends, and then he summons in. He automatically gets the Blade Dancer. We don't get mana down, which is a miracle. It was a good move that he let the level 4 die, or get downed. But then what ended up happening is he scrappered, and then it ended up going back up again. Because if it gets hit twice, he could eat it, potentially. But now he has to hit it, like, it has to get hit with something like, what, 2 more times? So here I think, okay, this guy is finally gets it. He's finally going to start doing stuff. Uses the 2, eats the 2. I was like, he gets it. He has a level 2. As a and instead of making himself get a level 3, he decides to use the level 2 Dryad on the Blade Dancer, which is not important because again, I have Shaman. It's more important to have a 1, 2, 3 Scrapper than it is to upgrade your units, because if he gets more level 2s, then he's stuck again, and he has to rely on me to Scrapper something. Whereas if he gave the Dryad to one of the level 2 Scrappers, he would be fine. I'm almost positive he's just looking at me and being like, okay, I'm good again. But again, he can keep Scrappering. He can continue doing stuff. But he's not going to. Enough time has passed where he has built up enough mana to summon in again, and he's just chosen not to summon in because he's waiting for me. If I Shaman him, it's going to give him awkward level Scrappers. Awkward level Scrappers that he can't do anything with. He finally decides to summon in, and I think that he's actually actively, like, doing stuff. And then the unthinkable happens, and I don't remember how. But what's eventually going to happen here is he gets 2 other Night Statues. He uses the Dryad on... Oh, there we go. He uses the Dryad on a Scrapper, merges 2 level 2 Scrappers, and gets that very awkward level 3 Night Statue. Why? You can obviously eat a Dryad. When it gets to the late game like this, eat the Dryad. The Dryad is not going to help you. I'm now at the point where I'm shamaning him because I don't want him to eat the level 2. Because I feel like at any moment he's going to eat the level 2 Night Statue and just try to summon in again. So right here, he's pretty much stuck. And to summon in at this point would be so dumb. Because he has 2 spaces, and if he gets a Night Statue... I mean, I guess if he gets a Night Statue, he can eat the level 2 and then have the same 4. But, like, there are not a lot of good, like, summon-ins right here. Like, you don't have a lot of room to do a lot of things. Like, if you get a Blade Dancer and a Portal Keeper, what are you going to do? You have a Blade Dancer that you can't eat. You have a Portal Keeper that you can't do anything with. And then you're because it's this version of the Blade Dancer deck, 2 of your Blade Dancers will have less attack speed. They don't go into Dancer mode because they're touching other Blade Dancers. At this point of the game, he doesn't need to do anything. Like, just doing anything would just make this, like, it would just make this worse. So again, I accept that, and I'm just going to shaman him and witch him and do everything that I can to make this work. He gets King Pudding Tier, obviously, and he can't do a lot about it because he doesn't have the second talent, nor does he have, like, good Night Statues. He chooses to move the center Night Statue, and that's fine because he has a level 7. Um, and so it can't get up. But in the case that it was a level 6 and he moves the knight statue, in the very next round, you could get upgraded and it could be a level 7 on a weird, awkward tile. So I wouldn't recommend that either. But again, like he had a level 7, everything, nothing is going to happen. But just to think about. Also, there's no reason to move it because it's not going to do anything. So if you do find yourself in that position, don't move it because it doesn't matter and it might just make the board state worse. So I think that we're basically going to probably win this. Like, I've witched every single one of his Blade Dancers. I'm like very actively shamaning as much as I can. And he doesn't need to do anything for the rest of this game. But remember when I said, we do not win this. The reason why you have to keep scrappering is because when you get to this point in the game where you are sitting on an infinite sum of mana, you could have been scrappering the whole time. And I'm sitting on 6,000 mana with what I can only assume is a ridiculously high summon in cost. At a certain point in the game, I can't keep summoning in to help you. So if you can meet me midway through the game by actively scrappering, because you're eventually not going to do anything with any of this mana, which he isn't doing anything with any of this mana, because there's no safe way to do it. If you can meet me halfway through the game, or if you continue to actively try, you can level 7 all of your units, and you don't need an infinite mana like support deck. So he very awkwardly gets the assassin gets the knight statue, and now he has to summon in. Again, very coincidentally, he manages to get the level 1 scrapper, and he's able to summon in another knight statue. So he's scrappering here, but now he has 2 level 1s, which is very awkward. Again, all he has to do is stay here. He doesn't need to do anything. He has enough damage for Dark Priest. He doesn't need to do anything. Like, we have enough slow. So again, here he's at the 2 level 1s. And again, he doesn't need to do anything. We can win with just this. We have double slow because he has a slow on his gadget. I have a slow on Snowflake. Like, he does a reasonable amount of damage that we should probably win. He merges the 2 level 1s. He gets a level 2 Blade Dancer. He summons in and gets a level 1 Blade Dancer. That was the moment that I was like, I'm making this a video. People need to know. People need to know how to not play co-op. How to not make dumb decisions during co-op. And how to not make every dumb decision while playing co-op. And this is why we lose. There's nothing I can do. Scrap, like, deciding to merge out all my Reapers to try to get a Shaman to randomly hit, I don't know, a Blade Dancer to make it a 3 so we can eat it with a 3, it's not feasible. And we lose. He's a level 10 Blade Dancer like there was no reason why we should have lost this. And yet, we did. For fuck's sake, do not play co-op like this. I have a video on how you should probably play co-op if you had a competent player, or if you wanted to co-op better with a Shaman deck. There was a better way to Shaman, because Shaman players can be dumb as well. Like, they can just keep Shamaning for no reason, and just waste all their mana. They could do it before you set up. I acknowledge that there's a lot of dumb things that Shaman players can do, but if you're going to play a Blade Dancer deck, or if you're going to play a deck with Scrapper, where Scrapper is the reason why you are able to set up, you can eat all the things that you do not want. If you are running Scrapper, be smart, because there are so many dumb decisions that you can make for literally no reason. Like, please just watch my how to co-op video. If you just have to scroll back. It's one of the first videos I ever did because I was running into this all the time. And then if you want to learn how to use Scrapper because you're playing a Scrapper deck, I just made a Scrapper video. But for fuck's sake, do not be this person.